Hey guys, today I'm doing another top 5 OMG moment for the 100. This time it's going to be for the second episode of season 3. This episode is part 2 of the previous episode, and so far I have to say I am super impressed with this season. If you haven't yet seen this episode of the 100, I recommend not watching my video as it is going to contain spoilers for the episode as well as for the show in general. So here are my top 5 OMG moments for the episode. Top 5 OMG moment number 1, Mount Weather. So just last week, my friend was asking me why Abby didn't move their people into Mount Weather since it's so much more protected than Arcadia. And this episode definitely touched on some of that. So in order to respect the truce that the Sky People have got with the Grounders, the Sky People need to sort of stay away from Mount Weather, considering how much death and destruction took place inside the mountain to the Grounders. You know, they were being bled and all that. Still, after Nico gets injured, I think, with an arrow, with the help of Lincoln, Abby does decide that she thinks that it'd be best to set up the med center in Mount Weather because of all the supplies that they have there. So now I guess we just have to wait and see whether or not the Grounders will understand this decision, although if I was a betting person, I would bet that the answer is going to be no. Top 5 OMG moment number 2, Monty and His Mother. So this one's not a huge OMG moment, but it's definitely one worth mentioning. In this episode, we were introduced to Farm Station, who have apparently been on the ground this whole time. Among them, of course, is Monty's mother and a man called Nick, someone who I'm sure is on the path to being a real pain in everyone's butts, and is probably going to be a possible antagonist for this season, considering the hatred that he has for the Grounders. I guess, though, we're just going to have to wait and see whether or not Kane can convince him that the truce is a good thing. My guess is probably not, since if Kane was able to convince him, then we would probably be in for a pretty uninteresting season. Top 5 OMG moment number 3, Murphy. Considering the past 2 seasons he's only been a recurring character, Murphy's storyline in this season so far is definitely my favourite. Now that he and it's painfully obvious the two of them are going to become a couple, Grounder friend, have stolen the boat from Jaha and Ali, the next question is, where exactly are they going to go now? Ali seems to think that they'll be back, but I have some serious doubts about that. I am, however, hoping that Murphy does make it back to Arcadia, just because I would like to see what he would do and whether or not he would tell people to stay away from Ali. My guess is he probably will, but I don't think he can be redeemed quite that easily. Top 5 OMG moment number 4, Bellamy and Clark. Be honest, who else was praying that Bellamy would find Clark and bring her home during this episode? Well, I got half of my wish come true. Bellamy did indeed find Clark and managed to prove that she was alive. Unfortunately, he was attacked and Clark was forced to make a bargain in order for him to live. Now Bellamy has to live with knowing that he almost had Clark, but that he allowed her to slip through his fingers once again. Fingers crossed, Abby doesn't blame him too much for this, but we all know what Abby's like. And top 5 OMG moment number 5, Clark and Lexa. Now, I'm one of those people who will look at the names of the guest starring actors to see who's going to be in this episode. So when I saw that Alicia Debnam Carey was in it, I got so excited because I remembered, oh wow, Lexi's going to be in it. And then I forgot about it until right at the very end when the camera sort of pans in, you've got sort of a bag over it. And obviously Clark was being led somewhere, and then I started realizing, I was like, oh no, I know what it is. And I started yelling at the TV, and my sister sort of looked at me and was like, you are so weird. But obviously, this wasn't exactly the reunion that Lexa fans were hoping for, since Clark basically yelled at Lexa the entire time. But can you blame her? Lexa did betray her and leave her people to die. That sort of thing doesn't get resolved with a simple apology. Still, I guess we won't know what Clark is planning to do until the next episode. Before I go, here are 4 questions that I'm hoping get answered in the following weeks. Question number 1, when do Abby and Kane kiss? It has to be soon, right? Question number 2, will we get to see Miller's boyfriend now that Farm Station has been found? Question number 3, are the Grounders going to break the truce now that Abby has set up camp in Mount Weather? And question number 4, who is Bellamy's girlfriend back at camp? And why does she look like 4 years older than him? There you have it, my top 5 OMG moments for the latest episode of The 100. Be sure to like this video and subscribe if you want to see more. Stay random. Bye. This year, since Under the Dome has been cancelled, sadness, I still get upset every time I hear that, I am instead going to be doing my